Let me just give you a little understanding of how we think about the digital thread at PTC. What you see on the screen here is an infinity loop. And in that infinity loop, the things that travel through that figure 8 really comes down to 2 or 3 fundamental things. One is parts. The second is bills of materials. And the third is software, although some people combine software with parts. So if you really want to simplify it, let's say parts and BOMs flow through this infinity loop. So let me give you a simple example of how we're thinking about this at PTC. First, we think about it in 2 halves. The first half is something we call forward propagation of data. The second half is we call data interrogation. I'll take you through each briefly. So let's use a simple example. Let's use a mechanical part flowing through this infinity loop. So first, a mechanical part will start in ALM as a set of requirements. Then it turns itself into, or gets turned into by an engineer, a mechanical part in CAD. And that engineer will put PMI information on it so that we can send information to manufacturing. But before it goes to manufacturing, it becomes part of an engineering bill of materials. So now we have a bill of materials in the loop. In Windchill, you can create a manufacturing bill of materials. That manufacturing bill of materials can then be sent to your ERP system. And in the ERP system, it becomes something else. It becomes something called a material master. And the folks that work in ERP pick suppliers, order materials, order parts. These are all derivative works that aren't the manufacturing bill of materials, but really closely related. In addition, we can take a manufacturing process plan from PLM, and we can send manufacturing instructions to the shop floor. And that same part now becomes part of an as-built bill of materials. At the same time, another example is we can make a service bill of materials. That would be a set of replaceable parts lists that are configuration specific. And we can send that to your service stocking system or your legal spare parts list. And it becomes another part of what's going through this infinity loop. And of course, we can send these things to a service execution system. So this is a little bit of the forward propagation of information in the infinity loop. It's also inclusive of things coming back from the field, like post-market surveillance into a QMS system, as well as, let's say, repair history from a service execution system. So all of this we group in the category of the forward propagation of data. Now, on the other side, I mentioned the second half of the digital thread is interrogation. So let's say you want to change a supplier. If you want to change the supplier, the first thing you want to do is an impact analysis. And you'd like to know, where do we have parts? Where do we have parts in factories around the world? Where do we have spare parts out in the field that we can still use? What next generation designs is this particular supplier being designed into? And we need to be able to collect that up. And so we also need to be able to interrogate the digital thread. And so this is how we're thinking about digital thread inside of, let's say, all industrial companies, but in particular for med tech companies.